What are some of my favorite films, and what do you enjoy the most about movies? Hi, Seinfeld. What do I enjoy the most about movies? I'll start with that. I enjoy movies that tell good stories, that are interesting, and I also really like the look of movies. Like, I like the visual aesthetic of movies. And when a movie pulls off like a visual style that is very attractive, then I love that movie most of the time. Some of my favorite movies are, well, I have a top 10 that I always refer to. I can actually just show you the DVDs. Hold on. I just grabbed a pile of them, but I have these in order because I once took a picture of them on Twitter in the order that I like them, and I haven't removed them from that order since then. So, spoiler alert: it's a lot of Nick Cage movies. I'm just kidding. They're all Michael Bay movies. This is my favorite movie. Oh shit! It's gonna be a reflection here. This is my favorite movie of all time. It's been my favorite movie ever since I saw it in 2007. So, for like 10 years, more than 10 years. So this is number 1. I like this movie a lot. It tells a really good story. It has really good acting. The camera work is really good. The cinematography is really good. This is my second favorite movie. I know, a pretty weird jump from like not funny drama at all to a comedy, but I think this movie is very good because not only is it really funny, it's very well written, but the cinematography is amazing. Like, it looks, it pulls off the old-timey look so well without making it look like it's from the old days. Like, it looks like a modern movie that and they like literally went back in time to make the movie. You know what I mean? And I like the world building of that. This is number 3, Interstellar. Somebody earlier mentioned that Interstellar has a really good soundtrack, and I think that that's probably like a good 25% of why this movie is really good to me. Probably a good 50%. The soundtrack carries a lot of this movie. But I also think the acting is really good. Cinematography is really good. The story's awesome. I honestly really like the ending because I wasn't expecting it. And I think the ending is actually what turned a lot of people off from this movie. So, but I really liked it personally. I thought it was really creative. Because, like, of course you can be like, oh, because at the end, like, yeah, it's not scientific, and that's what surprised me. Because whenever you watch these movies, you're like, oh, at the end they're gonna be like, oh, we forgot about the Zimmerman principle, and all the scientists in the audience are like, of course, the Zimmerman principle. That's the answer. But this is like, you know, space is so like unimaginably mysterious that they were like, you know what? Let's go with a non-scientific answer. Because who knows? Wolf of Wall Street. I watch this movie probably every 6 months, and I know that it's about a criminal, but it's honestly probably one of the most inspiring movies because he gets what he wants, and that's really cool. And like, you'll probably notice that a good similarity between these two movies is that it's about an anti-hero, and you root for the anti-hero the entire time, even though they're kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? And I like that. I don't know why. There's something about anti-heroes that make me say, you know, here you go, anti-hero. You really like Christoph Waltz's character in this, even though he's a bastard. Well, he's not actually a bastard. He's trying to catch the bastards, but why am I listening to my movies? Because this is the only spot, it seems like, where the screen isn't reflecting off of it. So I have to hold it up to my face. He gets what he wants, the movie. For real. So I really like Inglourious Bastards. How many movies will I talk about? I grabbed like 10 of them, so. This is another favorite of mine, another Paul Thomas Anderson film. This movie looks really good. The soundtrack is awesome. This is the only Adam Sandler movie that is actually good. I mean, yeah, you can say like Big Daddy or what is it? Happy Gilmore. But this is a really good movie, in my opinion. You don't like Punch Drunk Love at all? I think that my biggest complaint is that it might be a little too artsy. It might try a little too hard at times, I will admit. This is another movie. It's called Children of Men. I highly recommend that you watch it if you like sci-fi movies. It's the guy who made Gravity, which is also a good movie, but I have a few complaints about that movie. I was really looking forward to Gravity because this is like one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and whenever Gravity was announced, I was like, holy shit. The guy who made Children of Men is making a space movie. Hell yeah. Ooh, Bubba, thanks for the Prime sub, man. But this movie's great. Story's amazing. The cinematography's awesome. It has a lot of scenes that do really cool camera tricks, and it's something that not a whole lot of people probably notice, but if you pay attention to like how long a shot goes on for, it makes you feel kind of like you're in the scene a little bit, and it's kind of cool. It's like a VR experience, you know? Do you like Phil Collins? American Psycho is it's hard to describe. American Psycho is like it's probably like I would classify it as a horror movie, but I also classify it as a comedy, but I also classify it as a drama or a thriller. It's like a weird genre of movie. But if you haven't seen this movie, it's like one of probably, if not the best work by Christian Bale. This is a really good movie. And I really like the ending. You're an evil uncle? I'm telling you, I like movies about anti-heroes. You might see that as a you might see that as a theme as I hold up Nightcrawler to my face. Nightcrawler is a really, really good movie. I like this movie a lot. It's hard to describe. I know I keep saying that, but it's hard to keep describing these movies in different ways because I don't know. I just like the story. I like the acting, the cinematography, blah blah blah. Speaking of anti-heroes, this is literally about anti-heroes. Now, this might be the most polarizing movie on my list, because a lot of people hated this movie for some reason, but this was back when Zack Snyder was actually good at directing. Or whatever he does. Thanks for the bat, by the way. I had a lot of hope for Zack Snyder when he started his career, and it's sad what has happened to Zack Snyder since this movie. But this is really good. I'd say that I'm not a fan of comic book movies at all. There are very few comic book movies that have been made recently that I like. But this is probably my favorite one. That is, well, I'd say that's like, what? That's literally the top 10. But I have 10 more that I can go and get if you like. If you like this conversation. Oops, I dropped some. Yeah, I have watched Unbreakable. I like that movie a lot. You forgot Boogie Nights? Don't worry, it's coming up. Do I like Deadpool? I saw it once and I thought it was alright. Unbreakable is really good though. I'm glad they're making a sequel for some reason. Don't really know why they are, but they are. I have seen The Big Lebowski. I think it's pretty alright, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I might rewatch it. This is next. And this is, as you can see, the extended edition DVD. I highly recommend watching the extended edition DVDs of the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, but especially Return of the King, because it's really good. Thoughts on John Wick? I actually recently saw that movie last week for the first time. I liked it. I'll probably watch John Wick 2. Am I going to watch any more videos? I don't know. It hasn't been going very well. Castaway, if you can't tell. This is a nice DVD. I really like Castaway because it's simple and effective, and it somehow makes an interesting story out of a guy who is doing nothing on the beach for 4 years. And then the ending makes me cry every time. I will admit it. The ending makes me cry. Not gonna lie. And it's not because Wilson... I'm not talking about the ending when Wilson gets... he loses Wilson. Spoiler alert. Wilson floats away. That's sad, sure. But the actual ending to this movie is actually sad to me. Alright? Django Unchained. Django Unchained, this movie's really cool. I really like it. It's just a simple revenge story, you know? It's fun. And like I said, anti-hero. They're the best. Wilson floating away is quite the tearjerker. Yeah. You've never seen Castaway before? I won't spoil the actual ending, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard people say, Wilson! It's like a meme. I mean, it's like spoiling the end of, well, yeah, it's not really at the end that Wilson gets lost. But, it's like spoiling the end of The Sixth Sense at this point. It's like everyone knows that ending. Jurassic Park. This is probably my favorite movie since... This is like... When I was like 8, this was my favorite movie. And I think it might be nostalgic in that way, but this movie holds up really well. This is from like 1994 or 1993. And the effects in this movie are like perfect. It's insane. Have I seen I Am Legend? I have. Not a big fan of it. I mean, it's okay. I don't really have any like solid complaints about that movie off the top of my head. The Shining. If you want to know every single opinion that I have on The Shining, you can go check out Donkey's really good video that he made about this movie. And I wish they would make more. I wish he would make more movie reviews because he's really good at it. Oh, Bubba, thanks for the Prime sub, man. Appreciate the Prime. Oh, Rocket Man as well with the Prime. Rocket Man! Appreciate it, man. Oh, how do you like Chris Pratt's role? Chris Pratt's role in the new Jurassic Park? I don't know. He's kind of like the stereotype. But I think that's probably what they go for, right? People were telling me that the new Jurassic Park is like really self-aware, and that they kind of give into stereotypes on purpose, but I don't know if I like that or not. Anyway, someone was asking about Boogie Nights. This is a special edition DVD of Boogie Nights. This is how much I like this movie, that I got a special edition DVD of it. Boogie Nights is an American classic. If you haven't seen Boogie Nights before, you're wasting your time. This is great. If you like Mark Wahlberg, or I don't know if that's a good way to sell the movie, because this is like Mark Wahlberg at his peak, and this was when he first started acting. I mean, he started at the top, and there was no topping it. He's never gonna top it. Boogie Nights is great. What's the plot of Boogie Nights? I'll sell it to you. It's about a guy who has the biggest dick in the world, and he becomes a porn star. And it's about his rise from some dishwasher in a club to the most famous porn star of all time. It might sound like I'm joking, but I'm not. It's literally about that, and you'd think that that kind of movie would not be good, but it is really good. And that's a really oversimplification of the plot of the movie, but I mean, that's what it is, basically. Forrest Gump. Now, of course I like Forrest Gump. Who doesn't like Forrest Gump? I think Forrest Gump is just one of those movies where it's always on TV, and whenever you see it playing on TV, you're like, well, I guess I'll just watch the rest of it. I mean, it's playing, and I like this movie. And then you find yourself watching the whole thing. It's just a really solid movie, and it's great. You've never seen any of Forrest Gump, the Gathroth? How? How have you watched... I mean, I guess I'm talking to the generation that grew up without televisions, for the most part. So... Because, honestly, this is like the movie that they play on TV all the time. Shouldn't have won the Oscar? Well, I don't know what else was up for Oscars that year. But, I don't know. I think it's definitely an Oscar-worthy movie. But I don't really know, because Oscars don't really they don't really decide how good a movie is, to be honest. I used to really pay attention to the Oscars, but not so much anymore. Goodfellas, you talking to me? Sorry. Goodfellas is probably Martin Scorsese's best movie. I don't know. Check it out. It's if you like gangster movies about, gangsters, like real gangsters, not like I'm a gangster. Goodfellas is like it's another American classic. I don't know how to tell you. What else to tell you? It's great. It has that scene that everyone knows. Say, what am I funny like a clown? What am I funny to you like a clown? You talking to me? Slumdog Millionaire. I really like this movie. I don't know what to tell you. Everybody always makes fun of me because I like this movie, because I think that everybody was like, "Oh, it won Best Picture when it shouldn't have." But I don't know about that. But it is a really high quality movie. It looks good. It's a really interesting story. I like movies about worlds that I'm not familiar with, and I have no idea what India is like. And a lot of people who live in India have told me that, well, I mean, not told me personally, but I've heard from a lot of people who live in India that this movie is basically like, it basically like shows a side of India that like Bollywood never really likes to talk about. So it's kind of cool. Do I like Shawshank Redemption? I do like that movie, but I wouldn't put it in my top. Contact. Now everybody's like, what? What is this movie? Contact? Never heard of it. Well, unfortunately, no one really remembers this movie, but it's awesome. It's really good. I highly recommend you go watch it tonight. If you like movies about science and space and aliens and contact with aliens, then this is probably the most realistic interpretation of how it would happen if the human race actually did make contact with extraterrestrial beings. Okay? So I don't know how else to sell it to you. It's just a really well-made movie, and I'm not gonna lie. Jodie Foster from the 90s, I have a huge crush on her. That's all of them. Do I like animated movies? I do, but I would put all of those into a separate category, and I don't have DVDs of those movies, but I'd say that my favorite animated movie of all time is probably The Incredibles. I haven't seen The Incredibles 2 because I wanted to go see that with my sister, and we never got around to seeing it because she's buying a house, and she has to move, so she hasn't had a whole lot of time to do it. Wait, what is today? Is it Monday? Maybe I should go see it tonight. Oh, are you talking about Contact, Valentine? Because this is not a love story. It has love story elements in it, but the relationship between Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster's character in this movie is very much a D story. It's not exactly a focus at all. Could I make a list of these and pin it in Discord? If someone can find the Twitter post where I posted literally a picture of all of these movies, like I posted it like top down like this, then that would be easier because I've already made the list kind of.